All right, guys, it's here. Let's do the Onslaught breakdown. And I just want to say this champion is insane to me. Like, he's absolutely amazing. He has Incinerate resistance, shock resistance, bleed resistance, reverse controls. This dude, he's like that. I can't believe Kabam released a champion like this. I honestly believe that Onslaught is now the best champion in the game over Hercules. I said it. I will say it first. But let's talk about his combo first. His combo to me was pretty easy. Like, it's a regular 5-hit combo. It's not clunky or anything. And you can do medium, light, medium. He doesn't have any 2-hit hits or anything. And his heavy's actually really nice to look at. I love his animations. And I think he's just a really well-designed champion. His actual SP1 might be the most different special I've ever seen in the game. Like, I don't think any other champion has a special as unique as his. Like, his special one is so different and unique, and it's definitely difficult for me to dex when I first played him initially, but overall, great combo. Let's talk about his strengths. What are his strengths? One of his strengths is resistant to lots of damage over time effects. Onslaught takes no damage from these dots, but he isn't immune to them. This means he can benefit from willpower when hit by some damage over time effects. For example, like shock, he's only going to heal from it. He takes no damage from it because he reduces by over 150%, and that goes for shock, bleed, and incinerate. He just doesn't take any damage from them. He just reduces the potency of them by 150%. Wow. So I guess you could run the damage masteries, or at least double edge, but wouldn't recommend it. But as you can see right here, just dealing with torch. The incinerates literally mean nothing. I'm literally just healing back. Another one of his strengths is few defenses against Neuroshock. Currently, no champion is immune to Neuroshock. This means no champion can stop his damage. And I've tried it against a few champions. I tried one champion in almost every class. First it was Ultron, now it's Iceman. No champion is immune to it. And I thought, like, okay, maybe one champion would be, but no, none. Not a single one. Tried it against Angela right here. She was taking damage, and as you can see right here, she has 3 buffs, so she shouldn't be taking a lot of damage from it, but it's actually ticking pretty nicely. Doom, who's shock immune. Doom is shock immune, and even he isn't immune to his Neuroshock. Insane. This might be a broken ability because no one counters it, and I don't think anyone's going to counter it anytime soon. I've also tried here against Thing. Thing's not immune to it either. And neither, ironically, neither is Onslaught. Onslaught isn't immune to Neuroshock, so no one in the game is, and wow. Also, Daunted. Daunted increases all the damage the opponent takes during special attack, including effects from quest node. So again, another new buff, because I don't remember seeing this before. If the node puts any kind of damage on him, you're gonna take damage from it. If you're on your defense, if he's on a defense and you're attacking into him, he puts a Daunted on you, you're gonna take even more damage. So be cognizant of that. Another thing, non-critical first light and medium attack. As a defender, Onslaught cannot be easily parried. And as an attacker, he can bypass some Throne's abilities that can be avoided with non-contact hits, as you can see right here against Cord. And I did try him on defense, could not parry him. Could not do it. This dude is gonna be so annoying in Battlegrounds. I'm telling you this now, if you see him in Battlegrounds, ban him. Ban him now, because if you don't, you'll live to regret it, because this dude is annoying. But the good thing is, he does have a few weaknesses. One of his weaknesses is energy damage, or energy resistance. High energy resistance can reduce a lot of his damage, but not all of it. Avoiding his SP2 is still very necessary. So again, if you're fighting against him, do not push him to an SP2. Trust me. Unless you have a champion who is reverse control and immune, like his special 2 always inflicts reverse controls, which makes it very difficult to avoid. Immunity to this ability makes the fight a lot easier. So Juggernaut is a reverse control immune, so is Magneto, so is Professor X. I think Emma Frost might be reverse controls. I could be wrong, but keep that in mind. You need to, if you're gonna push the SP2, make sure your champion is reverse control immune. Also, no crits. Neuroshock have a higher chance to trigger on crit, so low or no crit chance makes the fight a lot more manageable. So if you're facing against a spiked armored champion, do not crit, because he will crit with the Neuroshocks. He also doesn't do really well with evade. I tried it right here, and long as Spider-Man evade, we were actually okay. We weren't doing a lot of damage, but he's just not good with evade at all. He doesn't have true sense or true strike. He's also not really good with falter. As you can see right here with Ebony Maw, like, we were able to avoid his SP2 in his entirety. So if you have falter, then maybe you can counter the SP2, but I still won't push him there. Let's talk about his immunities. So flat out, he doesn't have any immunities at all. Onslaught's he just reduces the potency of bleed, incinerate, and shock. He's not immune to poison or rupture or I can't think of any other ones. So there are so many different nodes in this game that put on debuffs, but he's not immune to it, and there's no situation where he becomes fully immune to anything. So you can put all the incinerates on him as you want. He's just going to reduce it to nearly 0 because of his ability. So again, great counter. I don't know if I would run the damage masteries with him, but the fact that he can reduce those is still very nice. Let's talk about his awaken ability. Now, when I was playing him, I would awaken him. I would use an awakening gem because when he's awakened, he can block unblockable special attacks from skill champions, but only from skill champions, not any other class. And the higher the sig, the more potency his daunted debuff will be. So when he's daunted potency is increased by up to 33%. And for each non-damaging debuff or personal non-damaging passive on the opponent, Onslaught special attack gain plus 98 block proficiency, not 98%, just plus 98. Just so you know, so the higher the sig, the more block penetration he can do, and the higher the potency of his daunted effects will be. So again, I think sig 1 is fine, but the higher the sig, the better, in my opinion. And I would love to admit, I said this a year ago, that we would have a new Prestige King this year, and lo and behold, it is Onslaught. His Prestige is 18,710. I called that a year ago. None of y'all believe me, but I called it. He is now the Prestige King, and I'm assuming he's going to go really high in the arena. So I hope you're ready to grind, because this dude is going to be a monster in every situation he's going to be in. So let's talk about his synergies. He has some decent synergies, in my opinion. One of his synergies is with Professor X, Red Magneto and White Magneto. Like when he wins a fight against a mutant champion, he's going to regain I think 15% of his health. And also with Cable and Strife, striking an opponent or their block while they're unstoppable consumes 3 daunted effects and removes the unstoppable. But there's a cooldown for 20 seconds, just so you know. With Red Skull, against skill champions while attacking, Onslaught passively regenerates 85% of incoming physical damage. I actually like that ability, in my opinion. I think it can be useful. It kind of reminds me of Namor. But right here with Apocalypse, when Onslaught's combo meter passes at multiple of 20, gain a non-stacking crush charge. So be on the lookout for that. I think his synergies are more so self-centered, meaning they only benefit him, really, in my opinion. Defense, I'm gonna say it now. This dude's gonna be a monster in Battlegrounds. I'll try here with Archangel. Could not parry him. Cannot do it. Like, it's so inconsistent. And I try to get the spacing right on his heavy. Yo, this dude is going to be annoying on Battlegrounds. Like, if you see him in your deck, just ban him. Save yourself the time, the energy, and the headache, because this dude is a monster. Also try to hear with my girl Ghost, but since I had Neuroshock on me, he was able to hit me. So Ghost is not even a good counter for him. Like, I feel like his class is mutant, but he doesn't really have class disadvantage against anyone, in my opinion. Like, finding counters for him was impossible. Doom did okay. I don't know if I will be able to do a fight in 2 minutes with Doom, but he's just a tank. Like, even if Doom's doing okay, he's just gonna be such a monster to take down. Like, he's incinerate resistant, so I can't throw my SP2. He's shock resistant, so he's not gonna take any damage from that. It's just like, he's gonna be a monster. Like, Doom could be okay, but I even try Onslaught versus Onslaught, and that still was a hassle. It still was a hassle. Like, this dude, even versus himself, he's a monster. As you can see, he's putting all the Daunted and the Neuroshock, so even he doesn't have any resistance against Neuroshock. He's just gonna be a monster. Just trust me when I tell you this. If you see him in the deck, just ban him. He's an insta ban. He is an instant ban. He's just so annoying to fight against. So very annoying. But the good news, he does have some counters. I did really well with Lady Deathstrike against him because I kept putting ruptures on him. He's not immune to ruptures at all. So, well, if you can get the if you can bait out his SP1s and manage to dex his SP1, I think it's a 4-hit SP1. You will do okay here with Lady Deathstrike. She actually did really well. Like, I was actually pleasantly surprised because I didn't think she would be a good counter, and she is. As you can see right here, we're doing actually okay. We're hanging in there. I'm still trying to get the hang of his SP1, but she's taking him down. Also, I tried here with Nimgod. He did okay, but since Onslaught is shock resistant, even against passive shocks, Nimgod isn't the best counter for him. Like, you can't put any neural shocks on him because right now Onslaught's the only person who does neural shocks. And I actually built up to an SP2 here just to show you that even after throwing the SP2, he's still withstanding and nothing I can do right there. We did some damage, but even Nimgod is not a good counter for him. Ironically here though, Infamous Doom did okay against him. As you can see right here, we did all right. Like, we had the shocks on him and the SP2 just melted him down. So Infamous Doom, but I feel like that may have been RNG. Who knows? Now, Relics, I didn't find many good relics for him. Like, the relic I attached to him in this particular fight was the Storm Relic, but only to decrease the opponent's crit resistance. But overall, there weren't really many good relics for him. Like, I feel like he's already powerful enough, and Kabam probably didn't want to make him too powerful, but yeah, I couldn't find a single decent relic for him. So leave a comment below on what you think a good relic would be. I looked at all of them and couldn't find a decent one in my opinion. So again, relic, not the best. He's not the best with relics. Let's talk about Masteries next. The Masteries I found or recommend would be Double Edge, Despair, and Equity. I cannot talk. Onslaught takes no damage from the bleed debuff. He might even benefit from it if he has the Willpower Mastery. Onslaught also inflicts a large number of infinite debuff plus many more debuffs when with duration, making good use of these Masteries, both Despair and Inequity. So if you're going to run him, I would definitely put them on and just take full advantage of the damage he can do and the healing he will get from Willpower and Double Edge and Despair and Inequity, because bro, this dude is just, he's like that in my opinion. But last but not least, let's talk about my overall thoughts. My overall thoughts is this dude's amazing. I ascended him on the beta and I loaded him down with the APOC synergy. So I made him a horseman. I put the what do you call it, Odin synergy on him, the pre-fights and the White Magneto pre-fights, and this dude is just a monster. Like, he's going to be a monster in Battlegrounds. I feel like if Kabam ever put him in Everest content, he's going to destroy us. His only real counter is maybe Lady Deathstrike and Havoc and Infamous Doom, but he doesn't have many counters because you can't parry him consistently, and gosh, he's just going to be annoying. And I love him. Absolutely. Like, I need to get him at a 6 and a 7-star because he's going to stay in my deck for Battlegrounds. He's going to be a staple in my deck. Like, I feel like he can do it offensively and defensively. Like, watch the damage he does here with all of these buffs on him. Like, this dude, he just melts any and everything. And he's not even complicated to play. You can just pick him up and go. He doesn't need to be awakened, but of course, like every champion in the game, he does benefit from it. I would definitely invest all my 6 stones, generic and everything, into this guy because he is just that good. And boom, fight over. 10 out of 10. Best champion released this year. Might be best champion in game. If you did like this video though, please hit that like button. And for anyone new here, if you can hit that subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.